Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video by me, the Ranger George. So today we're going to be talking about something that, honestly, I've seen this comment so many times, and I actually got another comment recently which said, you should make a video about this, and I was like, you know what? This could be a fun video. I've talked about it before, but I actually would really like to discuss it today and just delve into this subject. So what we're going to be talking about today is the possibility of a make-your-own character in The Witcher 4, which is something that so many people seem to want, and I have talked about, as I said, and I do actually want to a degree, so I just wanted to explore this subject today, and yeah, let's just see how that goes. So be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So I think one of the central reasons people want to make their own character is so you can feel like you are more a part of the world of The Witcher. You know, you can design your own character, you can choose their hair maybe, you can design their scars, you can decide which school they're going to be in. There could be like multiple different paths. So let's say you start in the school of the Manticore, or you start in the school of the Griffin, or you start in the school of the Bear. You could experience these different ways of being a Witcher and, you know, develop your school, develop your armor. It could be like a really fun way of playing the game. Maybe each has their own keep and you have to, like, you know, work to improve it, something like that. It could just be a really interesting way of playing the game. You get different playstyles depending on which school you choose. It would be quite cool. Especially, there's this idea, I think, that people really want, I mean, I really do want as well, which is where you have the Witcher game set in the heyday of the Witchers. So, you know, it's the actual, like, time when the Witchers were going around killing monsters. There's all these monsters that have long gone extinct. There's all these different Witchers with different schools. It could be like a really fun way to experience the world. And I was thinking a lot about how would you manage to make a game like this without actually messing with the existing lore. And I think one of the central ways you would have to do this is you would have to set the Witcher game in such a way that it was so far back in the timeline that whatever happens is kind of inconsequential by the time the later games come about, or the books. So you can have the kingdoms and stuff like that, and if you wanted to have a super impactful questline where the kings and queens or whatever, they change and the, you know, the Nilfgaardian Empire expands and stuff like that, you could do that. But let's just say that by the time it gets to the books and the games, it's like such a long time afterwards that the entire world has changed. I mean, it could even be like when Witchers were first kind of created and when the schools were all first starting to get established and you follow that kind of story. I think that sort of thing would be really interesting. I mean, there's a lot of ways that they could implement this into The Witcher. An obvious way that comes to mind for me is the way in which the Elder Scrolls implemented the sort of, I suppose you could say, the Skyrim way of doing things, which is where you have the main character, they have the central storyline, which is relatively similar for every single school, let's say, so that's like the central thing. Then you have multiple different separate storylines that are different depending on which school you chose for the character. And I think that means that the game has a lot of replayability, because you could make a Witcher in, you know, School of the Viper, School of the Cat, School of the Manticore, School of the Bear, School of the Wolf, all this different stuff, and you could see how the different Witchers live, what quests are available, how the game changes depending on what school you chose, how the main story even changes. It could be like a very, obviously a very complicated game to make, but, you know, things have changed a lot since The Witcher 3 was made in 2015. It's been almost, what, 7 years now, almost, maybe more soon? And I think that just the technology has surely come to a point now where they can make something like that. And of course, I would love to see something like that. I mean, we already know that the latest game is going to be centered around the School of the Lynx, which sort of makes making your own Witcher seem unlikely, but who knows, maybe it will be about the School of the Lynx, so your main character will be the School of the Lynx, but there could also be options to make Witchers in different schools. Or, which is an important thing, it might just be the School of the Lynx, but you can't choose other schools. Which would be disappointing, of course, if you wanted to have this make your own character game, but you could still make your own character within the School of the Lynx, which is probably the most likely thing that's going to happen. So yeah, this brings me to the point I wanted to make about, I think people think about the idea of making your own Witcher and it's going to be in all these different schools, which is something I've just talked about and something that I think would be really interesting to see in The Witcher, but it's more likely, I think, well, I'm pretty sure that it's just going to be School of the Lynx, and if it is a make-your-own character, it will be within that school. And you could say that they might have even made this new school because they want to have it disconnected from all the other ones. They don't want to have any established lore. They want to go in fresh. You make your own character, you play the School of the Lynx, maybe it's in a completely different part of the world and they sort of have free reign to do whatever they want. Which could be interesting, but I still feel a little bit unsure about the whole make your own character thing, regardless of whether it's, you know, using every different Witcher school or it's just the School of the Lynx. Personally, for me, I still feel unsure about it, and I just want to talk about that a little bit too. For me, I feel that The Witcher is really strong because we follow Geralt, and I've seen this comment as much as I've seen making your own Witcher. I won't play the next Witcher game if it's not about Geralt. And I'm just saying, guys, the next Witcher game is definitely not about Geralt. They have confirmed this multiple times. But that doesn't mean I don't want to play the next game, because they could make a really cool new original character that isn't Geralt. And I feel that for The Witcher, you need to have someone like Geralt, someone that is just doing their job, and you play them and, you know, you go through their story and you get to know this character, you get to like them. For me, Geralt's a little bit like Kratos in a way, if you've played God of War. You follow that character, you customize them, but that is the character in the game, that is the main character, and you care about that character. And I feel that for the new Witcher game to really work, you need a strong character, you need a good character. And CD Projekt Red, their management has changed a lot. There has been a lot of concerning things. I know all this, guys. I've kept track of it all. But they have shown over many years that they are very capable of making good characters, original characters. A great example of this would be Letho. If the School of the School of the Lynx, the latest new school, if the latest Witcher school has a character, the main character like Letho, I think that would be amazing. That would be really, really cool. To be honest, I still want a Letho game. I think that would be one of the best Witcher games you could possibly make. But, you know, if they have this school, the Lynx school, with a character as good as Letho, it would be a pretty fun game, I think. You don't need to make your own character to have customization. I think The Witcher 3 proved this. You can choose your school's armor, you can choose what build you're going to do, but you're still Geralt. So you get that customization, but you're still the character. And I feel like they're probably going to go that same route for the School of the Lynx, but that doesn't mean that making your own character couldn't be interesting, because of course, yeah, from what I said before, you could make the character style, you could feel like you're the character. I just think the issue would be that we would probably all have our own characters with the same voice. I'm not sure if they would have multiple voice actors with loads of different possible voices. If they had a girl and boy Witcher option, like, you know, the Assassin's Creed games have done, yeah, they might have two, but let's say we all design our own characters but they have the same voice. I think that's just very, very strange, and I personally don't like that. I would rather just have an original character. To be completely honest, as much as I understand why there could possibly be a girl Witcher, within the lore it's very ambiguous as to whether girl witches are even possible, because there was originally it said in the lore that it was impossible, then it was like, oh, maybe the School of the Cat kind of managed it, and it's a little bit unsure now, but maybe the School of the Lynx, they could just put something in the lore like, oh, they managed to work it out, you know, and it's not like a big deal. I think personally you could have a girl and a boy Witcher. But back to the main point about making your own character, I think it would be really cool, but if we're locked into one school, I don't really think it's that necessary. I would rather have an original character. I talked about this before about why I didn't think a Witcher MMO would work, and yeah, I still feel that way, but you could have the possibility in the future for a Witcher multiplayer game where you make your own characters and you play together. I mean, I remember when I played Skyrim back in the day, the idea of being able to play Skyrim with friends was amazing, that you could have your own characters with different stories and play in the same world together. They could do something like that with The Witcher, where you have different witches in different schools doing your own separate quests. That could be quite fun. It doesn't have to be an MMO, could just be a 4-player thing, little lobbies, something like that. Maybe you can come in and out. I think that would be quite interesting. Maybe something like Dark Souls, where you can just challenge your friends. There's like a multiplayer section to the game, where you can just, you know, make your build throughout the game, and then you can go into that multiplayer section and just fight your friend. That could be kind of fun, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of benefits and drawbacks to making your own Witcher character, and I think there's lots of different ways in which they could do it. And for this video, I just wanted to sit and really talk about what I've been thinking about. I mean, there's loads of other things, and I could make videos about this in the future, but I want to hear what you guys think. Do you want your own Witcher character? How would you want it to be implemented? What do you think about the School of the Lynx? Do you think it's gonna be a make your own character or not? I'm really curious, but yeah, I mean, that's all I really wanted to say for today's video, guys. I want to make some videos on other things soon, not just The Witcher, and I'm thinking of stuff like Lord of the Rings, maybe God of War, Dark Souls, stuff like that, just other game series, like fantasy stuff that I'm really interested in, because I'd love to talk about that with you guys, so if you have any suggestions for that kind of thing, please let me know in the comments, and I'd love to make those kind of videos. I really do read them, and this video was actually from a comment as well, so you know, let me know, I really do appreciate it, but be sure to like and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have an awesome rest of the week, guys.